Stop learning. I know that sounds crazy coming from someone who spent 45K on business programs, coaching and courses in 3 years. But here is what I discovered. The more I learned, the more my business struggled. The problem wasn't what I was learning, it was how I was learning. I had to completely flip my approach to knowledge. Today, I will show you exactly what changed everything. It will probably piss off some learning gurus out there, but it's what finally made my learning pay off. Let me paint you a picture. 3 years ago, I was that entrepreneur. You know the type. Had a graveyard of unfinished courses, subscribed to every business newsletter, constantly searching for the next breakthrough strategy. I genuinely believed more knowledge equaled more success. So I invested big time. 25K here on a business mastermind program, 5K here on a coaching, 8K on another high ticket program, Build a Second Brain, Ali Abdal, part-time YouTuber Academy, copywriting courses, and the list goes on. The crazy part, I was actually learning incredible stuff. These weren't scam programs. They were legitimate experts sharing proven strategies. I filled my Notion with golden insights. But month after month, my income was a complete mess. And here is a kicker. When I would hit a business challenge, what did I do? Bought another course. Maybe this one has the missing piece. If you have ever thought, I just need to learn one more strategy before I start, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Actually, I was stuck in what I now call the learning addiction trap. Always consuming, never implementing. Always preparing, never executing. Turns out, 70% of what we learn get completely wasted. I actually created something called the Knowledge Activator that shows exactly how to fix this. It's free and the link is down below. Here is when everything changed. I was sitting in a business mastermind 3 years ago. It was in Tenerife. Room full of successful entrepreneurs who had paid serious money to be there. That's when I noticed something very disturbing for me. Half of the people weren't even taking notes. The other half were scribbling messy notes they would clearly never look at again. And so during breaks, I started asking, how do you plan to use what we are learning here? And the responses floored me. I probably never use or reread the notes I'm taking here. That's when I had a brutal realization. These weren't learning sessions. They were consumption entertainment. And on the plane ride home, it hit me like a truck. I was doing the exact same thing. I would go home motivated from these events, but within days, I would be attracted by new content, new courses, new opportunities to learn, the topic to learn. The dopamine hit of discovering something new was easier than the hard work of implementing something old. I was consuming knowledge like content, reading, watching, taking notes, then moving to the next shiny thing. But I wasn't processing what I learned. I wasn't turning insights into executable systems. That plane ride changed everything. I started developing the framework that finally broke me free. Here is what I discovered about why I felt constantly stuck. Every single time I wanted to execute something I had already learned, I had to start from scratch. Picture this. I want to create a landing page for a new offer. I had spent thousands learning copywriting from several courses, so I had the knowledge. But when it came time to write that page, I forgot everything. And so instead of using my existing expertise, what did I do? Search YouTube for how to write high converting landing pages. Spent hours watching videos about concepts I already knew, sometimes better than the creator of this video. And this happened every single time. Learn, forget, relearn, execute, forget again, etc. And this cycle was exhausting. But listen, the problem wasn't my knowledge. The problem was my learning process. I was consuming information like entertainment, not processing it into usable systems. And there is a massive gap between knowing something in your head and executing it in the real world. And that's when I discovered the framework that changed everything, the CPA method. Actually, I split learning in 3 phases: consume, process, apply. And the thing is that most people spend 90% of their learning time in the consuming phase. You know what I mean? Reading books, watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, taking courses, attending seminars. But the real transformation, it happens in the other 2 phases. And that's where everything clicked. The first knowledge area I applied this method to was YouTube. I had learned from Ali Abdal's cohort, watched countless strategy videos, consumed hours about algorithms, hooks, thumbnails, everything. But instead of jumping to the new shiny object like I always did, I forced myself to stop. I spent 4 hours processing everything I had learned about YouTube into one comprehensive knowledge map. Think of it like a visual screenshot of everything you know about a topic at that moment. All the strategies connected and organized in one place. Then came the game changer. I converted that knowledge map into what I call a knowledge executable. A knowledge executable is basically a tool that makes what you learned usable instantly. No retention, no thinking, no remembering required. Specifically, I created what I modestly titled my Killer Video Crafter GPT. And this wasn't just another AI prompt. It contained the essence of everything I had learned about YouTube strategy. I could input my niche and audience, and it would generate killer video titles, thumbnails, concepts, hooks, content structure, even full scripts following proven algorithm principles. The result, my first video got 100k views on my main channel, and the third one, 500,000 views. But here is what was really significant. I wasn't starting from scratch anymore. All that YouTube knowledge was now available at the touch of a button, literally. No more watching how to write YouTube hooks videos, no more feeling overwhelmed. Everything was systematized into an asset I could use immediately. But here is the real breakthrough. Now I could compound on this knowledge. Instead of starting from scratch every time, I could learn about the next topic, maybe sales, maybe marketing, maybe storytelling, without losing what I had already mastered about YouTube. This is what I call knowledge compounding. To know exactly how this works, watch this video right here. Now, here is the thing. My first version of this framework was way too complex. I was trying to systematize every aspect of learning, creating elaborate processes that were harder to maintain than the original problem. But as I started teaching this to other entrepreneurs, I realized something crucial. Business systems need to be lightweight, not heavy. So I did the opposite of what most people do. Instead of adding more features, I removed everything non-essential, focused on the 20% that delivers 80% of the results. That's how I arrived at the simple 3-step method: consume, process, apply. Here is where it gets interesting. I helped a client implement this system. Yomi Denzel, an entrepreneur generating 4 million euros per month. Before working together, he had no learning system. Took messy notes, extracted maybe 20 to 30% value from expensive trainings and coachings. He was a huge knowledge consumer. After implementing CPA, he shocked his entire team with ultra efficient note-taking. And here is the kicker. He could create powerful business processes and frameworks in under 1 hour from what he learned. So imagine it's like you take a concept in a book you are reading, which is incredible, very powerful, and you can, in a seamless way, integrate it implement it directly into your business, and it is working, and it is applied by every single person in your business. He also builds mini workshops for his team in less than 30 minutes. So same knowledge investment, exponentially better results. This is what happens when you finally bridge the gap. Let me show you exactly what I mean by executable assets. Today, my business runs on knowledge executables I've created from years of learning. Instead of having expertise trapped in my head, I have tools that make it usable instantly. My module crafter, for example, contains everything I've learned about course creation. Best practices for creating content that get results, makes programs memorable, keep them lightweight but powerful. I use it to create and improve modules for my programs in minutes, not hours. My YouTube strategists, they handle all my content strategy. No more staring at blank pages, wondering what to create. I use my marketing assistant for offer positioning. It contains years of knowledge about creating compelling offers, demonstrating value, market positioning, etc. Based on everything I learned from high-level business training. But here is what makes these different. These aren't generic tools. They produce quality output because they contain the quintessence of everything I learned, filtered through my unique perspective and business philosophy. They only include the concepts and strategies I actually trust and believe in. Not everything I learned, but the best of what I learned. And here is what changed. I went from that roller coaster income, 5-figure 1 month, 0 the next, to building my business the right way with much more predictable system. I'm not necessarily earning more, to be honest, right now, but I know I'm building something sustainable instead of riding the emotional ups and downs. The difference isn't more knowledge. It's properly processing and applying what I already had. And so my 45K education finally became a business asset. It's like I had a huge dam that is blocking a large volume of knowledge. It has a huge potential in terms of energy to provide to the cities around, but the floodgates were closed. And now I opened them. So let me ask you directly, how much have you invested in learning over the past few years? Courses, books, coaching, mastermind. And more importantly, how much of that knowledge are you actually using systematically in your business right now? If you are like most entrepreneurs I work with, you have incredible expertise scattered across Notion pages, course logins, notebooks, and mental folders you never access. You are not behind because you don't know enough. You are behind because you haven't properly processed and applied what you already know. And my learning journey taught me this harsh truth. As Stanford professor Robert Sutton says, the gap between knowing and doing is significantly wider than the gap between ignorance and knowledge. The CPA method, consume, process, apply, isn't just a learning framework. It's a business transformation system that turns knowledge into executable assets. Here is what I want you to do right now. First, stop buying new courses for the next 30 days. I'm serious. Your brain needs time to process what you have already consumed. Second, pick one subject you have already learned about recently. Create a knowledge map of everything you know about that topic. Consolidate scattered insights into one visual resource. Third, convert that knowledge map into an executable asset, a knowledge executable. A template, a checklist, an AI prompt, or system you can use immediately and without friction in your business. If you are an entrepreneur or ambitious professional who consume a lot of knowledge, spending time and money in courses, books, masterminds, coaching, but deep down you know you are not actually using most of what you learned, you are not alone. The problem isn't your time, your organization, or ability to retain. It's the lack of a simple system to process and apply what you learn. That's exactly what I help entrepreneurs build. A practical workflow to turn scattered knowledge into executable assets, to turn knowledge into concrete results. So if that speaks to you, there is a link down below, and if it's a good fit, we will work together to get this sorted. But remember, this isn't about learning more. This is about finally using what you learn to create the results you have been seeking. You already have valuable expertise, and there is probably new knowledge you want to acquire too. You just need the right system to turn all of it, what you know and what you are going to learn, into concrete results. Stop consuming, start applying. Your business will thank you.